The wind howled through the dense forest, carrying with it a bone-chilling chill that seemed to seep into the very bones of those who ventured onto the desolate road known as Black Hollow Lane. The sun had long since disappeared behind a shroud of dark clouds, casting an eerie twilight upon the narrow, winding path that snaked through the heart of the woods. Jessica and Mike, a young couple on a cross-country road trip, found themselves on Black Hollow Lane after their GPS had inexplicably rerouted them. The dense canopy of trees overhead blocked out what little light remained, making it nearly impossible to see more than a few feet in front of the car. Unease settled in the pit of Jessica's stomach as the headlights illuminated gnarled branches that reached out like skeletal fingers, grasping at the vehicle. "I don't like this place, Mike," she muttered, clutching the armrest. Mike tried to reassure her, his knuckles white as he gripped the steering wheel. "It's just a shortcut, babe. We'll be out of here soon." But Black Hollow Lane had other plans. The road seemed to stretch on forever, leading them deeper into the heart of the forbidding forest. The trees closed in around them, creating an oppressive sense of isolation. Suddenly, the headlights flickered and died, plunging them into darkness. Jessica gasped, and Mike fumbled for his phone to use its flashlight. As the eerie glow illuminated their faces, they exchanged worried glances. "Did you see that?" Jessica whispered, her voice trembling. Mike shook his head, his heart pounding. "See what? I thought I saw someone, or something, standing by the side of the road," Jessica stammered. Before Mike could respond, a loud thud echoed through the car, causing them both to jump. They turned to see a handprint smeared in condensation on the inside of the fogged-up rear window. Panic surged as they realized they were not alone. "Drive," Jessica shouted, her voice cracking with fear. Mike jammed the key into the ignition, and the car roared to life. They sped down the dark road, the headlights illuminating a gaunt figure standing in the middle of the lane. The figure turned to face them, revealing hollow eyes that seemed to glow with an otherworldly light. It raised a bony finger and pointed directly at them. Mike swerved to avoid the apparition, but the car skidded off the road and into a ditch. They climbed out of the wreckage, shaken but unhurt, and turned to look back at the road. The spectral figure had vanished with trembling hands. They called for help and waited in the cold, haunted silence of Black Hollow Lane. When the authorities arrived, they found no sign of the eerie figure, and the car was eventually towed out of the ditch. Jessica and Mike were left with a chilling tale to tell, one that would haunt their dreams for years to come. Black Hollow Lane remained a road best avoided, a place where the boundaries between the living and the dead blurred, and where the horrors of the night seemed all too real. Travelers who dared to venture down that desolate path did so at their own peril, for the road had a sinister reputation that no shortcut could justify. Years passed, and the story of Jessica and Mike's terrifying encounter on Black Hollow Lane became the stuff of local legend. Those who lived nearby whispered tales of the road being cursed, haunted by the vengeful spirit they had encountered that fateful night. Intrigued by the stories, a group of adventurous teenagers decided to investigate the road one moonless night. Armed with flashlights, cameras, and bravado, they parked their cars near the entrance and set off down the winding path, determined to capture evidence of the supernatural. As they ventured deeper into the woods, the temperature dropped sharply, and the atmosphere grew suffocatingly thick with an otherworldly presence. Strange, ghostly apparitions flickered at the edges of their vision, and eerie whispers seemed to emanate from the very trees themselves. Fear began to gnaw at their resolve. Suddenly, one of the teenagers, a girl named Lily, felt a cold hand grip her shoulder. She turned to see a pale, ethereal figure hovering in the darkness, its eyes filled with anguish. "Help me," it whispered, a mournful plea that set shivers down her spine. The group screamed in terror, their flashlights flickering and casting eerie shadows on the trees. They turned and ran, but the path seemed to twist and elongate, trapping them in a nightmarish maze.